Good evening, welcome to the second edition of UBC News. Tonight it's me, Michael Jordan Lukomwa. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has warned against misuse of funds for the parish development model. The president has told members of parliament that he has noted some confusion in the implementation of the PDM and soon he will have a permanent solution. President Museveni has described the funds of PDM as toxic and says he will convene NRM caucus meetings to forge a cemented approach to the challenges. He was addressing members of the 11th Parliament at Kololo Independence Grounds.
In his address to the 11th Parliament, President Yoweri Museveni, who is a regular preacher of wealth creation, reminded the MPs the objectives of parish development model, which is based on the pillar of socio-economic transformation.
With all the PDM funds, the modes were that government officials were the ones selecting the beneficiaries.
President Museveni grounded the experience of the army through Operation Wealth Creation, which he says performed well despite complaints which later surfaced, including selfish interests by implementers and providing poor quality supplies.
That is when I decided that the UPDF must get out of this effort because the image of the wider force was going to be ruined by the mistakes of these fellows who were in Operation Wealth Creation, who had lost their straightforwardness.
According to President Museveni, in his recent tour to the Acholi region, he noted several mischiefs in the implementation of PDM, including paying for SACCO membership, commercial officers calling for illegal meetings, and inadequacies in the funds to be borrowed, among others.
Then in Aswa, they were called, instead of going to the parish, they were called to the sub-county so that people get tired and don't go. And when they were called to go to the sub-county, they were told, each parish bring 30-30. Who told you to bring? This is not indirect elections of 30-30. A parish circle is for all members.
President has called upon members of parliament to preach the gospel of wealth creation to ensure the success of PDM and avoid selfish interests of fronting support for political capital only.
You, the members of parliament, should take more time with the people. Don't go and just lecture. Sindio. The man is talking to himself. No. Talk and let them also talk to you. And then you see what is, try to discern what is holding them back. And don't buy food and all those things. If they don't want to come, let them not come. You tell them that I don't have money to buy food and all that because you are not a hotel.
President also described the PDM and the Myoga funds as toxic, warning against diversion of the funds.
There will be an example to the rest of the potential flies. Even if the money is sitting there, let it sit there until the circles are ready. Much of the money is still on the accounts. Another, according to the Treasury, another shilling 476 billion.9 is at the Treasury waiting to be sent once the original portion has been utilized.
The President, who says will convene an NRM caucus to further discussions of PDM, has also pledged to contribute to an oversight role by visiting different areas monthly and ascertain the progress of the PDM.
I'll be touring 2 zones per month, and I'm sure some people will listen to what I'm saying because they have done it before.
He has been very clear. It's not only MPs, not anybody, not anybody. It must be everybody's effort to make sure, even the electorate, because he has, if you remember where he talked about people, the youth, that find us somewhere on stage and ask us, we hear PDM, we hear Myoga, where is it? It is incumbent upon them to go even to the focal areas and getting first-hand information.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
At the same event, President Museveni has asked the Western world to stop wasting time on the unacceptable vice of homosexuality. While addressing the MPs, Museveni reiterated that homosexuality is a deviation from normal and Uganda as a country will not embrace it.
Your guidance on concerns on the threats of homosexuality, what they pose to our children and society. The 11th Parliament has embarked on strengthening the legal regime to erect the moral firewall to protect and conserve our cherished cultural values as people. The House awaits the second reading of the anti-sexual bill, which is currently before the Committee of Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. The 11th Parliament is cognizant of the importance of maintaining our moral values as a foundation of order, sustainable growth and development.
Europeans and other groups marry cousins and near relatives. Here, to marry within the clan is taboo, zero. Should we impose sanctions on them for marrying relatives? So we should put sanctions on people who are marrying their cousins in other parts of the world. This is not our job. If they are marrying their cousins, that's their problem. Sex in Uganda and maybe in other parts of Africa is confidential. Even heterosexuality, even the heterosexuals, they do it confidentially. How do we come to know that you are a homosexual unless you publicize it? We shall discuss all this.
Still at Kololo, President Yoweri Museveni has directed the Attorney General to make a follow-up with the company owning the Sinotrack that killed 3 students in an accident at Kasaka Secondary School in Gomba to ensure that all the families of the affected students are compensated. The President has also directed the State House Controller to send a contribution of 5 million shillings to each family that lost a child and 1 million shillings to those whose children survived with injuries.
On Tuesday, a Sinotrack registration number UBL 790J rammed into Kasaka Secondary School in Gomba district. 3 students died instantly and the 4th one died while receiving treatment. The accident also injured 18 other students, throwing their families into a state of emotional entanglement. President Yoweri Museveni has joined other Ugandans in condoling with the bereaved families. The president has extended financial condolence to the bereaved families and subsidized the treatment for the injured students.
The State House Controller to send 5 million shillings to each of the families of the 4 students that died in that accident. I'm also directing the State House Controller to give 1 million shillings each to the 14 students that are injured and are in Gombe Hospital.
The president has directed the Attorney General and Prime Minister to ensure that affected families are compensated by the Sino truck proprietors.
The Prime Minister and the Attorney General should get in touch with the families of the dead children and the injured to ensure that the truck owners compensate the victims and their families according to the law.
The Kasasa Secondary School accident happened around 1500 hours after the Sino truck driver lost control, hence proceeding through the school fence to the computer laboratory where students were having their lessons. Susan Naung and Gloria Guitavinji reporting for ABC TV.
Resident district commissioners, their deputies and district security officers have been urged to be leaders of the people by improving security and general service in the districts of Arua through monitoring. This was sounded by State Minister for Kampala, Joseph Kabuye Chofatogabe, and Presidential Secretary Haji Yunus Kakande during a 2-day retreat exercise for RDCs and DISOs in West Nile.
Resident district and city commissioners of West Nile sub-region, their deputies and district internal security officers have been equipped with knowledge on how to boost service delivery to the citizens. The 2-day retreat exercise organized by Office of the President focuses on improving security, social, economic and political aspects of development in their respective districts. During the retreat, State Minister for Kampala, Joseph Kabuye Chofatogabe, who represented Minister for Presidency, said offices of RDC and DISO are the first source of information for the government.
I call them the chief eyes and the ears and the nose. So being the foot soldiers of government on the ground, I think it was paramount to come and refresh ourselves, and then we equip them more with more skills.
Being a sub-region bordering South Sudan and Democratic Republic of Congo, West Nile is exposed to many security threats, which the minister says must be prevented for better security of Ugandans.
It's not all that a practice of our country to always combat. It's better to prevent. Of course, being the chief security officers in the districts, the RDCs have got a role to play and a bigger job.
Haji Kakande Yunus, the permanent secretary in the Office of the President, says good security is a basis for better development of a country.
Provision of security underpins and guarantees the pursuit of national objectives as enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda.
The two cautioned RDCs and their deputies against frictions in their offices that they said sabotages government programs meant for the people.
Deputy RDCs must respect their supervisors, the RDCs. Supervisors likewise also must respect you and work as a team.
They are here to serve the people, not to fight. I call upon them not to ashame the appointing authority, because the president had a lot of faith in them.
Yunus tasked RDCs to be agents of spreading spirit of Pan-Africanism to Ugandans.
That's why I say that Pan-Africanism is so important for our people to know. What is happening in Congo is happening, can affect us, and it's affecting us. What is happening in Sudan, it is affecting us.
However, RDCs considered the retreat as an important activity that has helped to improve their knowledge about their responsibilities. Joseph Odamam, UBC News, in Yarua District.
The Diocese of Jinja is seeking for financial assistance, close to 2.2 billion shillings, towards this year's Uganda Matters Day celebrations. Jinja Diocese, which is animating this year's celebrations at the Catholic Shrine on behalf of Torre Ecclesiastical Province, aims at holding a master class celebration at an event expected to attract over 1 million pilgrims. The organizing committee has been addressing the media in Kampala.
A shilling 2.2 billion budget has been drafted by Jinja Diocese, which happens to be this year's mass animators at the Matters Catholic Shrine, Namugongo.
The Bishop Diocese of Jinja led the mass at Parliament, and members of Parliament contributed, pledged to contribute, pledged to support us in this venture.
So symbolically we are here to say that this is what is going to be done. But many of those things is this, the health people, they might need this to look after people who are sick, or in the case of what, ambulances. The ushers, they will need maybe this to do this. The people in Namugongo said now the lighting which we need here to make sure that the thing is workable is need this, the generators to be, so there's all those comprehensive things.
The organizing committee led by the Diocese Bishop, Right Reverend Charles Martin Wamika, has held a news conference in Kampala with a major aim of amplifying the cause.
We didn't come prepared to give how much we have received at the moment, but definitely we began the process of collecting some money from different parts of the diocese, and also the parishes and also the Christians.
So far, what we have received is not sufficient. It's not. And as we move on, the needs continue escalating. I want to appeal everyone to make a contribution so that you have a feeling that you're part of the Namugongo event.
The organizers are looking at having a colorful and memorable event.
In the morning of 31st of May, we are going to move and we meet at SETA. Is our meeting point SETA. Those who have come with vehicles, those coming from the other part of the diocese. We are going to be in SETA, and then we have what we call a triumphant entry into Namugongo with our bishop, the pilgrims, the band.
We want a kind of celebration which is memorable. Namugongo, apart from faith, is also a tourist attraction. So we want to animate, to show the world that Busoga exists. You're going to see the vibe of Busoga at Namugongo.
It has been 20 years since Jinja Diocese last animated Mass at Namugongo Catholic Shrine.
Sometimes we need noise-abating laws. When we are having a Mass in Namugongo, some people are having a karaoke party or whatever you want to call it, and it's not so very nice. The bishop is trying very hard to say, the Lord be with you. On the other side, the gramophone is singing louder than the bishop can be heard.
This year's celebrations will run under the thread, Lord, increase our faith. Robert Anyango, UBC News.
Ministry of Health has launched, let's start with the Buganda Road Court, which has sent Americans Mackenzie Leang, Matthew Spencer and Nicholas Spencer to the International Criminal Court for trial. This follows the prosecution informing court that the investigation in the case was complete.
We know that you stay there.
Those are American citizens, a couple, Mackenzie, Matthew Spencer and Nicholas Spencer, in Buganda Road Magistrates Court in Kampala. They are charged with offences of aggravated torture and child trafficking offences, however they pleaded not guilty. Since the investigations in this matter are complete, prosecution led by Joan Keko asked court to send the accused to the International War Crimes Division Court in Kororo for trial of the matter.
And for information's sake, Your Worship, I pray to inform court that Section 5, subsection A of the Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act, the offence therein attracts a maximum penalty of death. And the information I pray to bring before the Honorable Court is that offence is triable by the High Court.
However, before sending the accused to High Court, prosecution amended the charge sheet by adding 2 more charges against the accused, among others illegal residence in Uganda and lack of license to operate in Uganda.
Have disclosed offences relating to trafficking in children. Your Worship, the prosecution, under the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, has decided to amend the charges for now to add a second count of trafficking in children, contrary to Section 3 and subsection 5A of the Trafficking in Persons Act of 2009. Can you repeat that? Your Worship, the Office of the DPP, the prosecution, has decided to amend the charges against the 2 accused persons, an amendment adding a count of trafficking in children, contrary to Section 3.
The accused were represented by lawyer Evans Kalibala. The accused yesterday in High Court Criminal Division filed their bail application, which awaits a ruling. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Namugongo, UBC News.
Ministry of Health has launched a pediatric surgical services plan to ensure access to timely, safe and affordable surgical care for children, as it is key in achieving universal health care coverage. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, says that the plan will strengthen pediatric care through training of more nurses and surgeons, constructing 10 more theaters in regional referral hospitals. The Pediatric Surgical Services Plan is funded by Kids Operating Room, a UK-based organization.
The Pediatric Surgical Service Plan will ease access to timely, safe and affordable surgical care for children across the country, thus enhancing universal health care coverage.
To expand the access, because we know that many children out there, they are not actually accessing surgery. So we are very grateful that we are going to start with our national hospitals together with the regional referral hospitals, 12 of them. And after that, we do believe that this plan will be expanded.
Which is an ambitious program, will cost about 21 billion Ugandan shillings to deliver.
Training of more pediatric surgeons will increase the number, as there are only 7 in the whole country, yet the demand is high. For example, Mulago Hospital conducts 20 to 30 surgeries a week, which calls for more specialists.
To scale up faster the number of specialists we have, and also training in nurses, especially critical care nurses, operating theatre nurses, and then biomedical engineering, that is maintaining of equipment. But also we have to identify general surgeons. Some of them can work on some specific conditions.
In another development, Food for the Hungry has donated 4.5 million doses of dewormers worth 601 million Uganda shillings to improve the fight against worm-related diseases among children.
Increased resistance to other infections, increased school attendance, and improvement in children's ability to perform in schools.
The doses contribute 20% of the national need for the upcoming Child Health Care Days in April 2023.
We give a package during the Child Health Days, 2 times in a year. For the children, we should be able to get rid of them.
Apart from children, adults are advised to carry out deworming after every 6 months to prevent diseases like anemia,
which is the most neglected by the individuals because they don't take it as very seriously. And yet, when you get worms, they debilitate.
The Pediatric Surgical Service Plan is a 5-year plan funded by Kids Operation Room, a UK-based organization. Miriam Wumcha, UBC News.
Ugandan Nurses and Midwives Union has handed over a consignment of personal protective equipment worth £1 billion to the Ministry of Health. The donation was handed over to the Director Governance, Ministry of Health, Dr. Joseph Okwari. The President, Ugandan Nurses and Midwives Union, Justice Cherop Chiplangat, said that the consignment will be dispersed to different health facilities.
No, we are going to first of all itemize the donation clearly to understand how many of the stethoscopes are there, how many blood pressure machines are there, how many gloves are there. Then we'll work with the union and the nurses that we have to identify the units, the health facilities that are in greatest need. If we had this before Ebola, maybe we would have done better. And as we continue, you never know. Another epidemic can come and we shall use. But even then, these are the usual protective equipment and supplies that we use in facilities on a daily basis.
We are ready to work with government, and we want you nurses and midwives outside there to make sure when you receive these things, you really take care of them. We are going to mark them, of course, because we do not want people to own them. These are things for patients, these are things for our nurses and midwives outside there. But most importantly, we really need other protective gears from government.
Uganda is still grappling with the problem of unsafe management and disposal of fecal sludge at households, with statistics showing that out of 85% of the toilet coverage in urban centers, only 40% have access to acceptable means of sludge management and disposal. This has subsequently undermined efforts to improve sanitation as well as access to clean and safe water for household use. Fortunately, all is not lost. Government, through the Ministry of Water and Environment, has procured 6 cesspool emptier trucks to facilitate safe management and disposal of fecal sludge from on-site sanitation centers to gazetted treatment facilities.
Uganda has made major strides in as far as toilet coverage is concerned, with the current statistics standing at 85% of households in urban centers countrywide. This, however, is met with the challenge of poor management and disposal of fecal sludge. According to Engineer Dr. Felix Twinomuchunguzi, the Commissioner, Sewage Services Division in the Ministry of Water and Environment, only 40% of households have access to emptying services.
All the 60% which is not coming to a treatment plant, as we mentioned, it ends up in the environment. Now, when it is not treated, it is not sanitized, it ends up into our lakes, it ends up into our rivers, and it transmits. These are where you get outbreaks of cholera coming up. These are where you get so many problems. We have also had statistics showing us that over 50% of the greenhouse gases in Kampala, for instance, are estimated to come from our septic tanks, which we do not empty.
However, with heightened efforts to upscale fecal sludge management and disposal, this problem will soon become history. With support from the African Development Bank, the Ministry of Water and Environment has procured 6 cesspool emptier trucks that are for conveying fecal sludge from on-site sanitation facilities to the fecal sludge treatment plants across the country.
This is a part of a service chain that has been lacking, where many areas, as I said, especially outside Kampala city, do not have access to such mechanical emptying, which is safe. So we hope that with these trucks they'll be able to improve the emptying rates.
These trucks cost the ministry a whopping $1.2 million. As planned, the cesspool trucks have been sent to different regions to bridge the existing gaps, especially in the countryside.
Areas outside Kampala, in small towns outside Kampala, there is a problem of private sector accessing these areas. So the government is partnering with funders where we procure such kind of trucks to serve the rural communities, the smaller towns outside Kampala mainly.
Andrew Mbiro represented the country director of African Development Bank. In his remarks, Mbiro underscored the need for government to subsidize the fees charged for emptying services to promote uptake of such services, in return guarantee good sanitation practices.
We urge the umbrella authorities to intensify awareness creation among the communities on suitable structures, and hopefully when the subsidies also come in to reinforce this. But we also would like to urge them to ensure that dislodging fees charged per trip are not prohibitive.
Accordingly, Ugandans have been implored to advance and shift from the use of traditional latrines to toilets, since they have proven to be cheaper in the long run. All this was happening at the sidelines of the ongoing activities to commemorate the Water and Environment Week hosted at the ministry headquarters in Luzira. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
We thank you so much for watching. We'll return with business news after this short break.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me. And as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're descending into Entebbe Airport. For those proceeding to Kampala City, the biggest event in East Africa is in town.
That's right, the East African Business Expo 2023 is happening from the 23rd to the 26th of March at Kololo Grounds. Join us to network, connect, and grow. Contact us for exhibition or sponsorship opportunities. The 14th East African Procurement Forum and Business Expo 2023 is hosted by PPDA.
Now sit back and relax. It's time to explore great business opportunities.
Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes! 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
Fish farming expo and training. Ekajansi ku aquaculture research and development center kutandika Friday ngabiri munya paka Sunday ngabiri mukaga March 2023 sawa bili zo kumacha bali lunaku kosirenya kubitano zokka no mutwalo kubuli training jangu oyige okwongera ku makungula ne sente zofuna mu byennyanja oyige bwe balusa endiisa n'enkola emmere y'ebyennyanja endwadde n'enzijanjaba yaabyo era obikuuma otya nga biramu ate nga bya mutindo omwoleso kujjire bakukubeerere mu byebyennyanja bawusinkazo z'abaana ebisanyusa ntoko endogokesigu bulirwa ggulo okuva mu bayimbi ba Uganda b'enjawulo eno olaba oyiga ng'ate onyumirwa obulamu Freshwise kuba essimu 0702 mukaaga 2205 oba 0772 mukaaga 26 okumanya ebisingawo tosubwa omwoleso gw'ebyennyanja oguwagiddwa nawo nga gutegekeddwa Slick Stars.
Jerry con. Jerry con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Bang Jerry con with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava. First group is I teach you. But never come up with the muscari. Because of the cover that is very far. Is you serious? Is serious you? What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you? Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for. Campus? Really? Hey, you don't remember me? Okay, so how can I help you? I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it? Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Paying your bills the old way.
Let's go. Just need to buy some power.
Paying your bills with the My Airtel app.
Bro, there's a line.
You have the power in your pocket. The power to instantly pay your bills hassle-free. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Oh, you're back.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. The Ugandan businesswoman in South Africa calling on government of Uganda to support them financially and logistically as they run their enterprises.
These are part of the NRM Women League members in South Africa. They are operating small and large-scale businesses in South Africa. With President Museveni's visit to South Africa concluded a few weeks ago, these entrepreneurs are now seeking for government's input.
Twagala propose yange naffe tujuwe president naye ate tusobodde kumufuna ne tubanga tufunye gwe kyovola batugoda tukulemeddeko nga twagala transport okusobola okubeera nga tuleeta ebirimu okuva waka ne tutunda wano ne tufuna kasente kaffe tuteeka ku saving yaffe.
Bwe tujja mu maaso gammwe tuba tetuzze kusaba kukka. Tuba twagala tubabuulire n'ebizibu mumanyi Abannayuganda abakyala bayitamu ki muyina buwagizi bwenkana butya naye bo olutulaba nti twagala kukola ki kubalaba kwogerako nammwe ekibeera mu mitwe gy'abantu tebaagala kusaba ffenna tukola.
During a closed-door interaction with the special advisor to Ugandan President Odrek Rabiogo, the group is expectant of good results.
Ono yeyewoze sente nazikomyawo. Njagamba president anonye sente immediately. Sijja kubagamba abantu kubanga sinamugamba naye manyiza ateera okuweereza abantu. Mugamba abantu bano nze nabasinkana kubanga wandekera abantu n'ogenda ate abalala bonna ne bavaako apart from Minister Ntabazi. Naye abantu abuze ekibiina nakiraba ate ndi mukakamu buli kibiina kikola. Sebo zikiriza noonye sente ezo z'abantu nkugambe mu system yo sente ezo tuziteeke ku account yaabwe.
The group chairperson, Hajat Amina Nagawa Sentongo, believes such efforts have been neglected by their home government.
Abakyala tuko tulina savings zaffe tubadde nga tusaving obusente bwaffe naye nga tubujjamu like nga bwe tuba tugenda okukola conference tujjamuko ku busente ate era ne tusaba n'abaami nabo ne.
In attendance was the State Minister for Trade in Uganda, Harriet Ntabazi.
If you have a vision, in fact, you plan, and then people implement what you plan. But if you don't have, then you come behind the planner and start now criticizing because you could not think that this could happen. Then you criticize what you don't understand.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Wycliffe Mudach, UBC News.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The second edition of the MTN Naguru Social Sports Academy has been launched at Naguru Katali Primary School in Kampala.
This academy is enabled by, among others, MTN Uganda and targets youth from the slums, with this particular one in the Naguru neighborhood that has produced many sports personalities.
We celebrate you and we thank you for celebrating your children. You know, a long time ago when we were growing up, our parents used to tell us that you could only become engineers or lawyers or doctors or what else, teachers. But today you actually realize that it's all the people who are investing in building their creative skills and the gifts that they have that are actually now leading the world today.
With this partnership, Excalibur Foundation also brings together Real Madrid Foundation as strategic partner and Youth Sport Uganda as the local implementer.
I start coming here from the beginning. I met a lot of children here. Now they have changed a lot and they are improving every day. So what we want to do is to work hardly in the areas that we have worked in this last year. Is in terms of education, in terms of value, in terms of what they have to do in the school, during the school. They have to study, they have to go to help at home, they have to be part of the family, and they have to be part of the community. And they have the mission to talk to everybody around them, to explain what we are doing here and what they have to do to have a better future.
Our project objectives remain the same: to keep kids in school, to increase educational commitment, encourage healthy life habits, and convey the life skills and values through football practice. We aim to remind all of you guys sitting here that education is the most important thing and that everything and anything is possible as long as we complete our studies.
The MTN Naguru Social Sports Academy aims at using sport as a tool for social reform, especially among the youth, whether sports mingled with education, to achieve a holistic child.
We use sports to know the life skills and long life skills. And this is very important for us as a nation, because as children get up, one, they love the sport, the talent is identified at a young age, and we are able to develop it. But at the same time, We are not targeting that we get elite sports, people who are going to train or play in European League, but people who are going to grow when they are human beings who cherish values, who have a character, who have a heart.
More than 166 vulnerable children, including boys and girls, and 6 children with special needs have been directly impacted through this sport and social educational program.
Been of last year, since from last year June, but I'm glad that I have got new life in it.
I came in the team when I don't have manners, but I learned many things in this team like dribbling, so I didn't respect my elders, but now I respect in the class. I keep quiet, the teacher talks, I be quiet.
This second edition will target more numbers basically to convey the message using games and sports for education values and life skills like teamwork, respect, self-esteem, equality, motivation and autonomy.
This partnership is one that brings MTN Uganda, the Excalibur Foundation, the Real Madrid Foundation, and Youth Sport Uganda to use football to teach life skills and values to children and youth in vulnerable situations. And I think we've actually been able to see that. It was a wonderful demonstration of what discipline means, what autonomy means. And I hope everyone who is in a football team here, we will not have to encourage you to get up to go to school. We will not have to encourage you to get up and do your homework because you've actually been taught those values in sports.
What? We thank you so much for watching. That is all we had for you tonight. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa, wishing you the best of the night. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.